Y'all, we have got to have a little ponderosa about what's going on with basketball wives right now because the girls are coming for Jackie Christie hard. I mean, they're exposing all types of tea, and we got to talk about it. Now, where does all this stem from? Where does it stem from? Well, Jackie has been on the interview trail. Oh, yes. And we talked about this in a previous video, okay? Where Jackie did an interview with Crystal from Rolling Out. But the one that's actually also making waves right now is the interview that she did on TGIF, okay, on Fox Soul. So let's get into the tea. If you guys happen to catch this video from yesterday, then you guys will understand the full scope of the stories. So I highly suggest going back to watch this video if you haven't already, or you can simply tap in here to what our friends at the Neighborhood Talk happen to post because they've done a nice little compilation of all of the shenanigans. So, as we spoke about in the previous video, Jackie says she didn't lose the fight against Brooke on Basketball Wives LA. Now, Brooke is saying, not so fast, Jackie Christie. That ain't the case. So Q, Funky Dineva, asked Jackie, who won? Because I think we all wanted to know because when you go back and watch that scene, it was highly edited, right? It was chopped and screwed. We don't even see the fight. So we don't know, right? So Jackie had responded and said, that the people had to pull her off of Brooke and that you could ask Bambi, Malaysia, and anybody else there, and Drea, what happened, right? So Brooke, I guess, got wind of this and she responded and she said, "You definitely did not beat my butt on season 2. Please stop the cap. Didn't nobody pull you off of me." Okay. Now, to take things further, I mean, that's the rewind of the clip, right? Of course, this is all we see in the clip. So the next thing you see is simply what looks to be security, pulling the two apart and Jackie Christie's hair kind of all over the place, right? But I noticed that Brooke didn't necessarily say she won. She just said, "You didn't beat my butt on season 2. Did nobody pull you off of me?" So don't necessarily say that Brooke won. She didn't necessarily say she lost, but she ain't say she won. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What do y'all think? Let me know down in the chatterization down below. But that wasn't the only thing that got her into trouble, okay? Because Brooke, as you guys know, unfortunately lost her daughter. So Jackie was asked about the situation at the reunion, and she was also asked about the situation during the interview with Fox Soul. And I felt like the way the question was asked, I mean, I didn't really feel like there was anything um wrong with the question because I thought it was very relevant because it happened. We saw it happen, we saw it play out, and we all wanted it to know how it ended. And Jackie, really talked about how she didn't want to go into the season, doing any interviews or talking about or having any follow-up conversations about the whole situation because she wanted to let her daughter rest in peace. But Jackie also indicated that she was tricked into having a conversation with Brooke about it this season. I definitely felt like the conversation needed to be had, but for me, just for continuity and just to really put a bow on that storyline, since they obviously wanted to move past it and get things going in a new direction. But apparently, Brooke did not appreciate this. She says, "Your interview is not the truth about what transpired between us. Don't do another interview discussing my daughter. You weren't tricked." So I don't know if it was the fact that she brought up her daughter, but she was also asked. So, in my opinion, I feel like she has every right to answer the question, especially because she was asking a question that I felt like we all wanted to know about, right? Um, So I don't necessarily know what Brooke's truth is, but I would be interested in finding that out. All right. So you can see the clip here if you guys want to go back and watch. But now we got to get into how Shaunie and Evelyn get brought into this situation. Brooke is exposing it all. She says, once again, Jackie Christie, you were the furthest thing from my mind when my daughter passed. I didn't give nobody a message to give you when you supposedly called. You're out of pocket and you will see me again. This don't have nothing to do with the show. Okay. Um, I kind of disagree because it does, because it's something that was brought up on the show and we talked about it on the show. They went at it on the show. So I feel like in order to follow the reality, you really do have to follow up on that situation, as painful as it may be. Because otherwise, in my mind, it's like when you brought up the fact that you were frustrated with Jackie, I mean, that was real. So, like, let's discuss the real, right? Anyway, Brooke goes on to say, you need media training. You discuss what you have going on, which is nothing. That's why the viewers only see you for 2 to 6 minutes each episode this season. So, this goes back to something that Jackie said during the interview, which was that she felt like, she was kind of playing the back. They had her playing the back in this scene, right? I mean, in this season, and she felt like she needed to, get back into the action. Brooke then goes on to say, "This is the only way for you to get attention. We were good, Jackie. You corny AF for this. I won't repeat myself again. Don't bring my daughter up again. Talk about your kids. Hashtag non-MFing factor." My question is, I mean, I guess Brooke wants her to just ignore the question when it comes up, but you know, what would be the purpose in doing interviews? I don't know. I guess I felt like Jackie didn't want to talk about it during the season. She probably didn't want to talk about it during the interview, but she was asked, so she did. And she didn't really go into that much detail. So I just feel like I can understand Brooke's position about it being painful to have to keep reliving this discussion, but I also understand the other side of it where Jackie's answering the question and she has her own perspective on it. So I think she should be allowed to speak on her perspective since she was asked. So to continue on, things get messy. It says, Brooke says, why don't you talk about all the ish you was on my phone saying about Evelyn Lozada and I am Shaunie? Tell them how you said you was gonna slap the bleep out of Evelyn Lozada and Shaunie is hiding from you. There's your storyline, B. So then Evelyn chimes in, she's like, slap me for what? She must have been on that brown that is making her round because there is no way. WTF I do now. See, for me, I feel like this to me is where I feel like, well, number one, I mean, Brooke opened up a whole can of mess. I mean, she did. I'm like, now what? Huh? Do you have this on a recording? Okay. Anyway, but for Evelyn, for me, I feel like we go wrong where we start to talking about, the brown making her round. It's like we can argue with people. I know you can't tell somebody how to clap back. So some of y'all gonna be like, I mean, okay, it all's fair in the clapback game, but I just kind of feel like why we got to go for like the body shaming and stuff like that? Like, why stick to what you? I always feel like there's plenty more creative ways to insult somebody than how they look. I feel like how you look or something going on with your body is such low hanging fruit that I always feel like it's like that's so basic. Like, go for the person's personality. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Brooke goes on to say, yes, Jackie Christie said on the phone with British that she would slap the F out of you, and Shaunie is hiding from her, and she needs to do a show called Preacher's Wife. Bloop. Anyway, Brooke says, I was on the call. I heard it all. Y'all need to go back to Miami. Apparently, that she's saying that Jackie was saying that they need to go back to Miami. And so then she's saying, then do these interviews being fake AF. So it's interesting to me when it's something like this is revealed because I didn't see it coming, right? So that also makes me wonder, like, a lot of times we look at a person on a reality TV show and they can be one of our favorites, right? But behind the scenes, the cast makes it feel like, no, that person is actually problematic. Portia's a good example of this because I feel like everybody loves, I mean, a lot of people love Portia, like myself included. But behind the scenes, different cast members have always made it seem like, not always, but sometimes made it seem like she was problematic in different ways that the audience would never know about. I don't know. But it's interesting now because it feels like everybody's in a pretty good place with Portia. So I don't know. And I'm wondering now if this is what they're trying to say about Jackie. But I also recall Jackie saying sometime around when the reunion happened that they were trying to say that she doesn't need to come back to the show. And that makes me wonder who was saying that. Was it the cast or was it production? So to continue on, Brooke says, "Don't tell me to be the bigger person. When I was when I gave this fake B grace after the nasty things she said at the reunion. So let's go down the foul B road, Jackie Christie." Then Shaunie chimes in and she says, "Now, wait a minute. Jackie wants to slap me?" I'm sure she's like, "Now, how I get in it?" Brooke then goes on to say she wants to slap Evelyn Lozada and you're hiding from her and you need to do a show called Preacher's Wives. Y'all need to go back to Miami. Her words. Okay. Now, I'm not really clear on why she's saying that Shawnee would be hiding from her because didn't Shawnee also have her at her wedding special? I didn't watch that, but I felt like Evelyn and Jackie were there. So I'm like, how did things go so far south between Jackie and Evelyn such that they're at this place with her? I understand that Brooke now has an issue because the situation with is being brought up again, but it seems like everybody got this issue with Jackie, and I'm trying to understand, is Jackie the common denominator, or is it that they don't like her and they want her out of the mix? Okay, or could they be just creating drama because they know that Jackie in conflict is also entertaining to watch. Anyway, Evelyn says, "Wow, she needs to slap her belly. Leave me the F alone for real." So I kind of feel like, again, I feel like Evelyn has been in this reality game for too long to be going for the low hanging fruit of the body shaming or whatever you want to, call it. I feel like she has been in this for such a long time that her reads at this point in time should be a lot more elevated than the basic stuff that I would expect some youngins to do. Anyway, Brooke goes on to say, "I'm so tired of her with this narrative about what happened with my daughter. Cool. She wasn't there. I'm over that." But basically, she's doubling down on the foul ish she said at the reunion. I'm always like, that's just Jackie, but not today. Okay. So I guess Brooke's main issue is not necessarily the discussing of the daughter, but it is more about how Jackie has framed her responses to what happened. Okay. Brooke sees it one way, Jackie sees it another. Then Evelyn goes on to say she needs to be thanking I Am Shawnee for all the checks she received the last decade because we know all these businesses are fugazi. Now, I need to look up what that means because, and maybe you guys know, and blame me if I am um out of the loop. Okay. So, fugazi is a family name and a slang word which refers to something that is damaged beyond repair. Oops. So, she's saying the businesses are 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 fake. Okay, essentially. All right. So then Evelyn continues on and says, "Shaking my head, I always knew the love was fake. Calling me last season to help the ratings, and when I do, there's an issue. No matter what side of the fence we're on, we're all on the same team. This is not a competition. Grow the F up." Brooke then chimes back in and says, "Since you don't have no storyline this season, here's your views, Jackie Christie. You are mad that Shawnee and Evelyn are on the billboards with Orlando. You're mad they did the special. You're just mad. You're just a mad, tacky B." Evelyn then responds and says, Jackie, let it be the last time you mention Brooke Bailey's daughter in an effing interview. Goofy, but you lied the entire time to Claudia Jordan. Hashtag too old for this. She didn't interview with Claudia from what I could see, unless I did. I mean, but I didn't watch the entire episode of TGIF. I watched enough to see the Jackie portion of the interview. So unless I missed something, she was interviewing with Funky Dineva. But I'm guessing that she's just making a statement that, or maybe chiming in with Claudia's name. Maybe Claudia will chime in. I have no idea. But anyway, so that's what's going on right now in the world with regards to Jackie being exposed allegedly, because all of these are allegations until I hear a recording from myself. And even then, I don't know if it's the AI. So, with that being said, y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Are they trying to get rid of Jackie? Are they trying to phase her out? Or is Jackie making more trouble for Jackie? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below, and I will catch you in the next video. And if there's an update on this story, I will update you guys as I find out more information. Um, who knows what will happen by the time this video is actually put out. All right. So with that being said, like I said, I'll see you.